Hey there. Good morning. Good afternoon. Just barely. Not even afternoon, noon. I made it. Man, I was absolutely late this morning. I just got in here, sat down. So I'm glad to have you with me. Thanks for coming to my little hour of health. It's going to be the Great Pumpkin Hour today. So really looking forward to that. I'm going to pull up my newsletter, which I just barely sent out to y'all about an hour ago. And I want to pull it up. So I've got it here so I can read on this computer and watch what's going on here with you all on this one. So bear with me and I will get there. So again, this is Wondrous Roots, your health from the ground up. My name is Rebecca Becky Montrone. We have a business here in Keene called Wondrous Roots. And what that's all about is I'm a holistic healthcare practitioner with a degree in holistic nutrition. I'm also an herbalist. So I like to work, when I'm working with people, I like to go in and hone in on the roots, like what's going on with this person who has maybe 3 different health problems or complaints that stand out to them. And so the question is always like, what are the roots going on? And a lot of times that can be done. Most times that can be done. And it's really, really helpful because it means you don't have to do a bazillion things to help with all of the many. So that's Wondrous Roots. Also come from Wondrous Roots in my family. And that is my father, compound pharmacist, brilliant clinician. My mother, a Navy lieutenant nurse who also got us all started reading Adele Davis back when I was a kid and got us all into eating properly and taking a lot of vitamins and things. So those are my Wondrous Roots. And then Wondrous Roots would go back in Keene, where I grew up and my husband grew up. And here we are back here. We never really planned this, but this is it, Wondrous Roots. Wondrous Roots for me would be God, who created that and made all of that happen and created everything and also created all of the wonderful foods and plants, animals, things in creation that nourish us and from where we derive many medicines, true, actual, efficacious medicines. So our practice here is on the 3rd floor of the Miller Forge building in Keene, New Hampshire, right downtown Keene. And we are open here 9:30 to 5, Monday through Fridays. Those are our open door hours. We have plenty of things for you to look at and purchase if you wish to. Come on up, introduce yourself. I always love to meet people who are tuning in. And met a lot of people back when I was first doing the radio program with W, doing this as a noon radio program on Saturdays. Some of you here with me today are definitely part of that audience. And so I met a lot of people who just would tune into AM radio on a regular basis and found out about me. And so that's really wonderful too. So our number here at Wondrous Roots is 603-439-2603. You can also reach out to me, wondrousroots.org, and go to contact us, and that you fill out a little form. Send me a message. It comes to my private email, and I will get back to you in a good amount of time, in a decent amount of time, I mean. So, and someone did that this past week, and it kind of tipped off what I'm talking about today. So someone contacted me from my website and said they had just started following me on YouTube. So I'm really enjoying the YouTube. And Debbie, you were in this week and saying how you were enjoying that too. You were a faithful radio person and often called in. And Debbie was saying that she really liked that too. But somebody who has just started seeing me on YouTube and said, loves the information, loves the things I talk about, and she was very intrigued and impressed with pumpkin seed and what I do a program on pumpkin seed. And I thought, what better time to do a program on pumpkin than October? So that's what I'm doing. And she's right. And then another thing that happened, I told her, I replied and I said, I actually did do a program on pumpkin, and it was back, some of you might remember, but it was back in July of 2022. So last year, July, which isn't a time you typically talk about pumpkin, but I did. And I was talking there probably more about the pumpkin seed extract, the water soluble for urinary frequency and incontinence. And we'll get into that again today. But anyway, that's how this all happened. So I am going to open up my newsletter. And again, those of you who get my newsletter, now when I post the YouTube videos for people who just find me on YouTube, there will always be a link to the newsletter, because you really want to take advantage of these, because I put a lot of effort into them to make sure that you have information you can click on. And motorcycle action out there, but I hate to have to close my window. Sorry about that. And so there's a lot of good things, like I'll go through them. I'll be clicking on them and reading from them. And then I usually always like to, you guys know I'm a foodie. I always really like to include recipes. And food is, after all, the basis of our nutrition. It's even when we have supplements, right? They're sourced from food. And so food is the foundation. So we don't want to have like a horrible diet and then take a bunch of pills as supplements to make up for it. We want to take supplements to supplement the good food. And of course, I think, and people who are foodies usually do really enjoy the actual process of cooking and preparing, finding things, having ideas, coming up with your own recipes. And also searching for recipes. Anyway, so I'm all about that. So we've got some of those down there today. So anyway, what else did I want to tell you about Wondrous Roots in the meantime? What's going on here? Yes, Kathy, I am finishing that new cream, the Fig Plus cream today, this afternoon, I promise. And I'll send you, he'll be a guinea pig, a little jar of that. I'm excited about that. This again is for atopic or ectopic dermatitis. So for whatever it is, whether it be a rash, whether it be, just a rash that's a contact dermatitis, or eczema, something that is painful and itchy in your physiology that you have going on. So that is, we're getting that done. I have a brand new design being done right now. It's been in the works for about 3 or 4 weeks for my online store that I think a lot of you are going to enjoy, which I'm going to really enjoy. And I had someone, a regular customer, call the other day, and she was frustrated on my store trying to find, like, where would she look for my lotion, like in the categories. And I have so many categories and it's a bit confusing. The search bar works well. If you do that, it's a great search bar. But anyway, this is going to all be better. And it's going to be great. It's going to be more interactive and more of a connection site between me and my clients and my customers and people out there. So without further ado, let's go. The Great Pumpkin. I said all of that. I've already said that. So we're going to talk about it. Pumpkin seed and beyond pumpkin. Oh, what else do I want to say beyond that? Well, my tea lights, those are still in progress. Getting my tea light collection. That's so exciting to me. This is the really fun things. I mean, it's really fun what I do, right? On the one hand, you're dealing with really serious health issues, very serious, like cancer, or many, many different things. And then on the other hand, you're thinking about what candle scents do I want? So it's kind of like I get to do all these things that I'm interested in. But we have, and Sue is my candlestick maker. She's my candle maker. And she is out in the back like a Santa's elf, just cranking candles out all the time when she's here 2 days a week. And I hope to, beyond our candles, which we have them all on our website now, if you go to just search candles, but the tea lights aren't up. And the tea lights are really awesome. And we're going to have tea light collections, and we're going to have, so you can choose your own. That's really great. Oh, we also just, I'm going to go get it. Hang on one second. So this is fun, right? You can't do this on radio. So for those of you, these are very popular, our sampler kits for the skin. We also have the cold and flu one, and we have the summer woe kit. So different products that we have that go, this is the skin collection. But we just switched to a white box. Isn't that pretty? We had the, the craft paper brown, the regular craft paper. But because our new kind of branding is all of this blue and white, we've now moved to this. I'm so excited. And our Wondrous bath bars are also now, we're doing in a square, in a rectangle, like a bath bar, instead of like what we've had, is those of you who know about them. And they will be packaged in a craft box like this. So anyway, these are the really fun hobby type, I don't know, just really fun. Okay, so there we go. I don't know if I should close my window. Well, we're just gonna live in the real world here, and sometimes there's traffic noise. Okay, 9 impressive health benefits of pumpkin. So pumpkin seeds, yes, but it's the whole pumpkin. The whole pumpkin. There's so many wonderful things, again, about these foods. Pumpkin impressive health benefits include improving eyesight, promoting weight loss, regulating blood pressure, improving men's sexual health, promoting restful sleep, help in reducing risk of cancer, supporting better immunity, may help treat diabetes, and enhancing youthful skin. Also, if you want to participate, you still can do that, even though it's not radio. You can raise your hand on the Zoom bar. You can open up the chat and type in there, or go to the Q&A, and I will I'll interact with you. So please don't feel like you have to just be there and listen to me monologue all the time. Okay, so eating 1 cup of canned or cooked pumpkin can easily provide you with well over 100% of your daily needs. I would argue with that, okay, because they're going by the RDA, but you know me. But this is what they say. They're saying your recommended daily allowance of vitamin A, and again, sorry, but beta carotene is not true vitamin A, but it is related to vitamin A, and some of us make vitamin A from it. So that's where they're coming from there. Oh, I guess they should just ask me to write these things, right? And then they could get it right. Over 10% of vitamin E, 20% of daily vitamin C, and 10% or more of potassium. Moreover, you get high doses of riboflavin, manganese, copper, potassium, and a minimum of 5% of vitamin B6, folate, thiamine, iron, niacin, magnesium, phosphorus, and pantothenic acid. So a lot of B vitamins here in the pumpkin. So 1 cup of cooked cup of mashed pumpkin contains over 200% of recommended daily intake of vitamin A, which sharpens the vision, especially in dim light. And I will say too about that, it isn't just for the vision. It's not just the vitamin A, and they say that they're packed with carotenoids, the elements that give their bright orange color, as well as beta carotene, which is converted by the body into a type of vitamin A, but also lycopene, right? So those carotenoids that we find in carrots and squashes, yellow squashes, oftentimes also in things like peppers, bell peppers and peppers of many kinds, and other foods as well. This lycopene, tomatoes, is a rich source. So we get a lot of those phytonutrients that really work so well together. They're the way foods are put together, the way medicinal herbs are put together in their whole package, rather than isolating something out from it, say a vitamin. We get everything that complements one another and they work together. And that's really, again, emphasis on the importance of food. I had a client for his son, and he was asking about the vitamins that I use and are they whole food based? And he's like, don't they, have to be whole food based instead of chemical? Well, plants contain lots of chemicals. And we can get the value of many nutrients in their chemical form. But my assumption when people are, say, taking the Thorne Basic Nutrients formula for their multivitamin, like I do and like many of you do, that they're taking their vitamins with whole foods, that you are using your vitamins as supplements. And so you are naturally eating good food, and those phytonutrients that are there are also complementing the things that are in your vitamins. It gets a little tricky there when you think about it, but we're not just not eating and swallowing down supplements. So, okay. Speeds weight loss. This is because pumpkin is an overlooked source of fiber. 1 cup of pumpkin contains 3 grams of fiber and only 49 calories, which can keep you feeling full for long periods of time on fewer calories. A diet that is rich in fiber enables people to eat less and thus shed pounds. I also think pumpkin food just tastes great. You can do so much with it. You're going to see in my my newsletter, in the recipe section. I just can't wait, probably because I'm starved. I didn't eat yet. I know I shouldn't do that, but I was kind of pressed for time, and I will eat right after. But it made looking at the recipes really even more fun. It's like when you go to the grocery store and you're hungry. So what was I going to say about that? Okay, so we've got there there's a sausage and pumpkin cream sauce for pasta there. There's a horseradish pumpkin seed pesto. Doesn't that sound great? Pesto, we usually think of basil, but pesto you can do with anything green. And I like that twist on it. Let's see what they're actually using there for. There are 2 cups of cilantro leaves. Okay, so instead of the basil, 2 cups of cilantro leaves, lime juice, olive oil, salt, grated peeled horseradish or prepared horseradish, and a 1/2 cup of unsalted roasted pumpkin seeds. That sounds really excellent. And then I've also got there's something really kind of for everybody there. There's a creamy pumpkin soup. So I've already got it in my mind when I'm going to be making these things myself. But here then, the creamy pumpkin soup, you've got that, muffins. You've got to have something. Most times when you look at pumpkin recipes, you're looking at a lot of sweets, right? Most people think of pumpkin, they think of pumpkin pie, pumpkin bread, pumpkin muffins, pumpkin, just those kinds of things. And yes, pumpkin makes a great dessert ingredient, main ingredient, because of its wonderful flavor and its moistness. So anyway, there's banana pumpkin muffins there, which the author of that recipe was saying, they cut down on the sugar because the banana is naturally sweet. And they use in their, you can tell, I just totally went off track, and I went from talking about, we're talking about weight loss, so we're talking about food. I can do it. It's like I can go out of order. Okay, so these have, they use packed brown sugar, but what I usually use when I'm baking something, and I'm not a big baker, I like savory things more than I do baked things, but I do bake some things. And they have, I will usually use maple syrup. And I know it's expensive, but it's really good for you too. If you're going to look at brown sugar, which is kind of like sugar with like caramel coloring or whatever, however they do it, I would much rather, and I don't do this every day. So I would use maple syrup. And then this one also has, okay, then it has the bananas. And what's kind of nice about the pumpkin things is like you can make pumpkin things healthfully using canned pumpkin. You want to be careful of, that it's organic or whatever that source would be. But you want to, but you can. So you don't have to, that could be a real deal breaker for some people, especially during the week. You're busy, you're going to work, what are you going to do? You're going to roast a pumpkin or whatever. But I am going to do that for this other recipe that is the roasted pumpkin salad with orange dressing. So pumpkin just doesn't have to be, in a bread type thing. It doesn't just have to be in a soup or a stew or a chili. Yeah, you can find pumpkin chili and all that kind of thing. But this is a really nice salad with pumpkin or butternut squash, with olive oil, honey, salt, pepper, orange juice, balsamic vinegar, chopped shallot, garlic, orange zest, fresh arugula or baby spinach. I love arugula. And you could always use a combination, right? A cup of dried apricots, a cup of dried cranberries, and fresh goat cheese. That is really nice and fresh, and it's a salad. So it's not a soup and it's not a pasta. So for that type of a texture and whatnot, I really like that. There's also a creamy pumpkin hummus, and that's a wonderful, I think that's like a great, as we get moving towards Thanksgiving, which we are speedily, actually. That's a great, if you're going as a guest somewhere, or if you are having people in and you are wanting to entertain for an appetizer or whatever, the creamy pumpkin hummus. And it's nice. They've got pictures of apple slices served around it. That sounds so delicious. And it looks like we have a chat. Oh, yes. So wonderful. I use pumpkin to thicken soups and make them creamy. Southwest soup specially. That's great. That is a great idea, Karen. And yeah, why not, right? Just you're making something and you're just going to do that. You add the pumpkin. What did I do to do that one time? And we found, you know what else does that really well? If you don't mind the flavor, but what really works well, if it works with the recipe, is peanut butter to thicken a soup. So great ideas. Any other ideas out there? Put them in the chat or put them in the Q&A or raise your hand. That's great. So what did I want to say about, okay, so that's great. And that is really pretty. It's got cranberries. No, it's got pomegranate seeds all around the top. That is really super festive. And anyway, so we'll go back to all of the health benefits we're going to get when we make these recipes and we're eating them. And again, if you want to get the benefits of a certain food, don't use them so infrequently. Think about using pumpkin more, like Karen just was talking about. Just, I do it to thicken a soup. Maybe she's making a vegetable soup. Maybe she's making, some other sort of a soup and wants to thicken it. And the pumpkin adds nutrition, it adds flavor, and it adds body. Okay. All right. Oh, I think I was still on that the 9 things, the 9 things in this article. Okay. So we talked about, we only got to number 2, like speeding weight loss. And then I had to get into food. Okay. Regulates blood pressure. Pumpkins have ample amounts of fiber, vitamin C, potassium, all of which are known to support cardiovascular health. I actually did see an article that I almost cited, but I just thought it wasn't it just wasn't as impressive as I wanted it to be. But it was by the late Dr. Stephen Sinatra, who's a very holistically minded cardiologist. And some of you might be familiar with him, and it's unfortunate that he passed away untimely. I think I won't speculate, but anyway, because Consuming the right amounts of potassium is just as essential as minimizing your sodium intake for the treatment of hypertension. And that's exactly right. I had someone in the other day who's having a stubborn problem with her blood pressure. And she's a client and she's in here frequently. And she said, do you have a minute? And asked me, do I have to cut salt out of my diet and whatnot? And I produced for her some information talking about how sugar, but she's not a big sugarholic either. So I'm not blaming this sugar on her, but sugar is a big concern for blood pressure. But also the salt issue, the sodium is usually an issue with sodium-laden foods such as canned and processed food. Soups and things that you buy in packages, things that are very high in that form of sodium, not from cooking your own food and salting to taste with sea salt or Himalayan pink salt or kosher salt, that kind of thing. But there was a very good, Dr. Joseph Mercola had a good article that I have saved on my computer about it's the potassium ratio. Right. So that's what we talked about. We were like, you use magnesium as a supplement and whatnot. Do you supplement specifically with potassium? Maybe let's make sure you add that rather than if you actually are having a problem and your blood pressure is a concern. And I mean, hers is high, not like not like above the ridiculous low level that the Sprint study now has people in and going on blood pressure medication when you're 80 if your blood pressure is over 120. I disagree with that completely, but hers was getting right up there, sometimes at 200, right, in the systolic. So that would not be okay. So anyway, in that case, potassium would be something just to make sure that you are getting. And yes, add potassium foods for sure, but don't say, well, I eat. I said this to another client this past week, and we were talking about her blood pressure, and we were talking about potassium. And she said, well, I eat a banana about 4 times a week. So that's if you're using a nutrient therapeutically, right? Eating a banana like 4 times a week is not going to make enough of a difference. You would really have to pay attention to infusing your diet throughout the day with potassium-rich foods. So anyway, that's kind of, I guess, that's what I was talking about earlier, right? I was talking about how supplements are supplements. They're not instead of food, but they're supplements. So if a person needs more of a certain nutrient, then that's the place for a supplement. Okay. Anyway, consuming the right amounts of potassium is just as essential as minimizing your sodium intake for the treatment of hypertension. Increased intake of potassium can also reduce the risk of stroke, preservation of bone mineral density, protection against loss of muscle mass, and a decrease in the formation of kidney stones. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, here, because bone is made up of many other minerals and substances than calcium. And last week, when I was talking about the deer antler velvet, the Lou Wrong, I was mentioning the calcium hydroxyapatite, which is present in the deer antler velvet, and how calcium hydroxyapatite represents all of the minerals and constituents of bone, not just calcium. And so here, potassium is one of those. Potassium is one of those constituents of bone, as is magnesium. So when we talk about bone health and making sure that our bones have the minerals they need to be healthy, again, not to be over hard, but to be healthy, then we want to make sure that we're including those other minerals. So this motorcycle, this person loves this road, and it's kind of become a joke here because I love to have my window open if I can, unless it's freezing or horribly hot out, the window is open. And so, we go through this all day long, and we have windows all along where everybody else is working too. And so it's, we have this one, I call him a guy. I don't know. It could be a woman for all I know, but fitting the stereotype in this one motorcycle just all the time. So I don't know if you're hearing that, but I'm just going to ignore it. Okay. And a decrease in the formation of kidney stones. So this is another tactic that I use with people who tend towards kidney stones. I recommend to them a magnesium potassium citrate supplement, because potassium and magnesium in citrate form will stop the oxalates in the diet from precipitating out and causing stone formation. So again, potassium. Balancing those things. In today's modern medicine world, if and I am speaking for the majority, I'm not speaking, there are many good MDs out there who are, so I'm not speaking about everyone, right? But your typical doctor will say, you need to take care of your bones, calcium. Get 1,200 milligrams of calcium a day. Probably rarely recommend magnesium or potassium. And these things are electrolytes, right? They're all supposed to be held in a balance in the body. So again, the beauty of food tends to do that. So it says here, a Harvard study, involving over 40,000 male health experts, concluded that those who consumed a diet rich in fiber had a 40% lower risk of developing coronary heart disease as compared to those who relied on a diet low in fiber. So pumpkin is really high in fiber. Another study carried out by Swedish researchers showed that women who consumed a fiber-rich diet had a 25% lower risk of developing a cardiovascular disease as compared to those women who ate a low-fiber diet. Okay. Improving men's sexual health. Pumpkins, and especially their seeds, are packed with beta-carotene and other antioxidants that have cancer protective properties. Taiwanese researchers found out that pumpkin seed oil blocked harmful prostate growth in male rats. A quarter cup of the seeds packs around 2.75 milligrams of zinc, which can contribute to male sexual health. According to a Wayne State University study, young men who didn't get enough of zinc intake had substantially lower testosterone levels after 20 weeks. So again, another boon for the pumpkin seed. Better sleep. Pumpkin seeds are rich in tryptophan. So think serotonin boost, an amino acid that is responsible for post-Thanksgiving dinner sleepiness. Tryptophan, and it's not because of pumpkin seeds, but that's, the turkey, and then combined with the carbs that make you sleepy. Tryptophan also contributes to helping the body produce serotonin, the feel-good neurotransmitter that assists you in relaxing and winding down. In addition to promoting better sleep, the serotonin will enhance your mood. So some of you out there, and I don't tend to use it now because I don't seem to need it, but I kind of cured my raging PMS years ago with 5-HTP, 5-hydroxytryptophan. I definitely have corrected that problem. So I don't seem to, I take all these other things. So it's not something I take now, but a lot of you are. And it can be really great for, especially if a person is cutting carbs out of their diet, because the carbs raise your ability to take the tryptophan from the protein foods that it comes from. And you can become really depressed on a low carb diet if you don't make sure that you're getting that tryptophan. So better sleep will enhance your mood. So that's getting to the mood thing. Helped reduce risk of cancer. They're talking now about beta carotene, rich diet reduction in the risk of developing a prostate cancer. Beta carotene has an inverse relation with the development of colon cancer in Japanese people studied there. Furthermore, the plant sterols present in pumpkin seeds can help combat certain types of cancers. So plant sterols, yes, pumpkin seed is a source of those. So that's why pumpkin seed oil is used in many prostate-based supplements for prostate health. One we have here is Life Extension's Ultra Prostate Health. supplement. And I've got a link to that in my newsletter. But anyway, pumpkin seed oil is a part of that. And beta sitosterol is also very, very well known for its effects on prostate health and protecting the prostate. So those can come from pumpkin or pumpkin seed, but they also can come from other sources. A source that some of you might be familiar with who are working with me is Moducare, which comes from pine plant sterols and sterolins that we use to modulate the immune system function. But it was first originally used back in I believe it's 59. It was first used. Its first use was for benign prostatic hypertrophy, so enlarged prostate in men. So again, those sitosterols and sterolins. Okay, better immunity because of their being rich in both beta carotene and vitamin C, both of which offer an immunity boost due to their powerful combination of nutrients and combination. They help your body. Fight virus, infectious diseases, and infections. Pumpkin oil can help you fight numerous fungal and bacterial infections. I did not know that. So that's a new thing to know, that pumpkin oil can help you fight numerous fungal and bacterial infections. So I have to think about that as a formulator, because that could go into a few different products. Like I have an antiviral topical oil. I have an antibacterial topical oil and antiviral and antifungal. I have an antifungal goodbye fungi spray. So that would be nice. And pumpkin seed oil is easy to get. Okay, vitamin C, so that's good for your. Pumpkins were shown to lower blood glucose levels, thus improving glucose tolerance and increasing the amount of insulin produced by the body. Okay, so eating pumpkin will not hurt if you have diabetes, or if you, again, we like to know about things that help us, control blood sugar. Youthful skin. So the beta carotene present in pumpkin not only helps us protect our skin from the sun's harmful rays, but the pulp also makes a wonderful all-natural face mask. There you go, your DIY, that not only soothes, but also exfoliates. The fruit enzyme zinc, vitamin A, vitamin C, the alpha hydroxyl acids in pumpkin increase cell turnover, soften the skin, and help control oil production and hormone level. All you need is a quarter of pureed pumpkin, a tablespoon of honey, a tablespoon of milk, and an egg. Yes, no, you're not going to eat this. Combine all the items and apply on your face. Wait for about 30 minutes and then wash it off with lukewarm water. That sounds cool. That sounds fun. That's something you just have to do that at home, right? Because it's not going to keep. You've got to just do it, mix it all up and do it. That's a great thing to do on the weekend. Somebody try that. I challenge you. Try that. Get back to me and tell me what you thought. All right. All righty. So now I think I'm going to jump down before I get to some of the more serious things. Not that the things that are good for kids aren't serious, but I thought that this was good. Health benefits of pumpkin seeds for kids. And kids like pumpkin seeds. So you can say it's a pain in the neck to, take them out of the pumpkin and clean them, do all that stuff and roast them. And with the seeds on and all that kind of stuff. I buy I usually get my organic seeds and nuts from Amazon because it's hard to find them locally without paying an absolute fortune. And so I like to do that. And so you can buy pumpkin seeds in good quantity so that if you're going to a store and you buy like a little packet of pumpkin seeds for a snack, and you don't know if they're oxidized, how long ago they were roasted, whatever. So I like to buy them raw, keep them in the refrigerator so they don't go rancid, buy a lot at a time. And then it's great because what's another great way to use the pumpkin seed, right? Is to, toast them like you would pine nuts or almonds or pecans or whatever to put on salads or other dishes, put as soup, as condiment, as on your pasta, that kind of things. Yeah. So those are great things to have on hand. And it's a great way to add to something that's not truly like a pumpkin dish, right? It's about I'm getting my pumpkin seeds. So but kids like pumpkin seeds. They taste good. All right. So improves brain development. The omega-3s, when we didn't really they didn't talk about that in that particular article that I was doing, but it says you can start giving pumpkin seeds to your toddler once he or she has strong enough teeth to chew regular solid food, which can usually be between 1.5 years to 2 years of age. If you're worried about whether or not your child can chew seeds, then you could simply grind the seeds and give it. You can prepare and store it in a jar. An important thing to keep in mind is that when you start collecting these seeds from pumpkin fruit, make sure that before you serve the seeds to the child, if you're trying to make a paste out of it, you remove the outer husk. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, that's the thing, that when you're doing it the really long, laborious way, you bite that off and you crack it, but then you get about 3 seeds in 15 minutes. Okay, although this is a time-consuming process, considering the benefits that your child can get, it's worth the effort. Yes, but just buy them whole. That's what I do. Okay. Improves brain development. Benefits of pumpkin seeds for brain are that it is a great source of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So those would be the helpful omega-6, right? These fatty acids are highly recommended for kids because of brain development. Brain development in children is as essential as the development of the rest of the body. And this is one of the most important pumpkin seed benefits for brain. I also want to tell you that you can purchase, when we have it, pumpkin seed oil. You wouldn't use it like to cook with a lot because, again, it's expensive. But I mean, it would be good in, say, one of those recipes. Let me go back. Called for canola oil, which I do not cook with. What was it? And I think it was the muffins. Yeah, I said it only calls for 1/4 cup of canola oil, right? So I said I would substitute pumpkin seed oil. That'd be great. It would just add to the nutrition and it would add to the authentic pumpkin flavor. Okay. Now, where was I? Kids. Okay. Think about it, right? And you can mix pumpkin seeds along with other things that are good for kids, like some nuts, like some raisins. I saw one example of a child eating some other, like sunflower seeds, that kind of thing, with some goji berries. So those types of things. Snack food doesn't have to be, Pepperidge Farm fish, goldfish. Promotes sound sleep. Another pumpkin seed benefit for health is that they promote proper sleep in kids and adults, and that's going back to the tryptophan. Tryptophan is an essential amino acid which helps in producing serotonin, and this in turn gets converted into melatonin, which is a hormone that helps in getting better sleep. That's the whole idea behind a glass of warm milk. If your kid has trouble sleeping, having a few pumpkin seeds before bed with small amounts of carbohydrates, such as a piece of fruit, may be beneficial in providing the body with tryptophan needed for melatonin production, which can lead to better sleep. For younger kids, powdered pumpkin seeds can be an option. Now, why did they say with a small amounts of carbohydrates? So that's the magic of getting tryptophan from a food that contains it, like a protein food. So here, the pumpkin seed. The fruit is the carbohydrate. So here's how it works. Tryptophan in the pumpkin seed and in other foods that have contained tryptophan, like chicken, eggs, turkey, milk, there are competing amino acids. And they're all like, one of them has to win to make a good effect, to get across the blood-brain barrier. If you can raise your blood sugar along with the tryptophan food, the competing amino acids in those foods are diminished, and the tryptophan wins the race. So when we're using it therapeutically as a orthomolecular supplement, if you will, so those people who are taking 5-HTP, that's the beauty of the 5-HTP, because it's the form of tryptophan once you have already it's already across the blood-brain barrier, and you don't have to worry about taking your 5-HTP with a piece of fruit. But if you're combining tryptophan, if you're combining foods like pumpkin seeds with fruit, you're getting that done. So very clever. Possesses antimicrobial properties, so pumpkin seeds are also antimicrobial. Studies suggest that pumpkin seeds are effective in controlling bacteria such as Staph aureus, E. coli, and that's pneumonia, right? Aeruginosa. So antibacterial. Improves urodynamics. And we're going to get more into the urodynamics shortly when we talk about its use. Water-soluble pumpkin seed extract as used for, especially in females, frequent urination or even urinary incontinence. Okay, so traditionally pumpkin seeds have been used for regulating passage of urine. Recent studies have confirmed that pumpkin seed oil can reduce bladder pressure, increase bladder compliance. There you go. Please comply, my bladder. Please cooperate. And reduce urethral pressure. So I'm imagining here, I'm assuming that here they're talking about this might be helpful for children who have a problem with bedwetting. Rich in antioxidants. Antioxidants are compounds, that'd be pretty cool if it helps your child sleep and not wet the bed, Antioxidants are compounds that produced in your body or naturally found in some foods. We talk about them all the time here, that scavenge or neutralize the effects of cell damage by potentially harmful molecules known as free radicals. Pumpkin seeds benefits for brain are tremendous, and including it in the diet is a good choice. Pumpkin seeds are a rich source of antioxidants. Okay, high in magnesium, again, a nutrient that it's hard to get enough from our food, is because it's one of the top 4 abundant minerals in the body. We need a lot of it. We need to constantly be getting it. So any deficiency of this mineral will easily reflect in daily life. Oh, yes. Let me just remind you. The magnesium miracle. Never too far from my reach. Magnesium, super important for all of health. Okay. Magnesium is key in formation of bones, maintaining blood flow, and keeping stress low. It also brings relief to girls who suffer from menstrual cramps, leg cramps, and irritable mood. Okay, so because they're talking about kids, I was wondering why all of a sudden females were referred to as girls, but instead of women, but now I remember. For kids who deal with asthma, which is on the rise due to hazardous air quality levels, oh yes, magnesium can help. This marvelous mineral has calming effects and hence aids in reducing hyperactivity and lack of focus in kids. Again, that would go back to its kind of before bed snack use as well, because I recommend to those who work with me or anyone to take your magnesium supplement at night. Take it before you go to bed. Magnesium is a natural tranquilizer, and so it helps you relax. Strengthens the liver. The unsaturated fat present in pumpkin seeds are good for strengthening the liver. Studies suggest that a mixture of pumpkin and flax seeds can reduce liver damage. That sounds good. And for those who like flax seeds and chia seeds and things like that on breakfast items, like whether it be cereal or yogurt, that kind of thing, adding pumpkin seeds in there would be great. Okay. Okay, 150 milligrams. Pumpkin seeds actually have, 150 milligrams in a 1 ounce serving. That's a lot. That's a lot for a food source. That's pretty impressive. And loaded with zinc. We talked about that a little while ago. Zinc is considered an essential nutrient, which means that the body cannot produce or store it. For this reason, it's very important to add zinc in your daily diet. Zinc is required for numerous processes in the body, like gene expression, growth and development, immune function, protein synthesis, wound healing, to name a few. Pumpkin seeds are a good source, rich in phosphorus. This is great for kids because their bones are developing, supporting bone growth, aiding a healthy digestion, eliminating toxins from the body, combating fatigue and weakness, preventing arthritis and osteoporosis. We don't usually see that in children, thank God. And ensuring healthy brain function. Phosphorus is found in high amounts in pumpkin seeds. And I would say, again, I would go to, these major minerals and think about the teeth development, right? So, I mean, honestly, for pregnant women, pumpkin seeds would be a great snack, part of your daily diet. Just include those pumpkin seeds. I think would be great. And then potassium, one of the 7 essential macro minerals the human body needs, blah, 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 electrolytes. Potassium basically acts as an electrolyte and is less harmful than sodium, which is also an electrolyte. In most of our diets and also in our children's diets, the presence of potassium is becoming very less, and sodium is rapidly rising. So anyway, in addition to this, other pumpkin seed health benefits for kids are that they contain various other nutrients required by the body, blah, 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 blah. How much pumpkin seeds to eat in a day? Well, somebody has said 28 grams of dried roasted pumpkin seeds. Okay. Now, I do want to get on to, gosh, time just flies. Okay. In 3 separate, nearly half of women aged over 70 suffer from chronic urinary incontinence. A groundbreaking discovery using natural plant extracts offers relief by reducing incontinent episodes up to 79%. These same plant extracts may also benefit aged men. Based on the latest findings, men with persistent urinary problems related to benign prostate enlargement may consider adding this patented water-soluble pumpkin seed soy extract to their daily supplement regimen. So we're going to talk about that. So this is now not the pumpkin seeds themselves, but in a water-soluble extract that is patented. And now this is something you would take, not still eat your pumpkin seeds, for heaven's sakes, but this is in a certain form and we take it in supplement form. So in 3 separate studies on aging women, water-soluble pumpkin seed and soy extracts rapidly reduce the number of incontinent episodes and the number of day and nighttime urinations. And I have seen this work well for people. The beneficial effect was shown to statistically increase with the duration of each study, indicating that a steady improvement might occur when used longer than 6 to 8 weeks. This is really important with this one. In fact, on the bottle, it tells you to I do them separately. Life Extension has come up with one that's a combination, but I use the 2 separately because you really want 1 of the soy isoflavones a day and 3, when you're starting out, 3 times a day, 1 of the water-soluble pumpkin seed extract capsules. And you do that for 2 weeks, and then you go to 1 twice a day. But when I've told women that, they've said when they go to the 1 twice a day, they don't have as good a result. So, but the important thing is that it seems to have a cumulative effect. So it's one of those things that you're like, this thing has been bothering me forever. I'm trying this and it's not working. You have to be patient, watch the calendar and be out there and wait. just be persistent and consistent and disciplined with it and give it time. Although usually women report they notice an improvement pretty quickly, but it gets better. But stick with it. All right. So the beneficial effect was shown to statistically increase. Oh yeah, we just read that. This proprietary water-soluble pumpkin seed and soy extract can significantly improve urinary incontinence in postmenopausal women and therefore improve mobility and quality of life in affected individuals. Yeah, because it's just terrible if you're constantly having to urinate, you have to stay home, or you have to wear something. And that's, who wants to do that? Okay. So I just want to kind of get down to that. You can read this whole thing. This is a life extension article, and you can go through that. So what is the deal? And you know that I'm not big on soy. Well, I'm not big on soy foods. I'm not big on unfermented soy foods and I'm not big on fermented soy foods that are not non-GMO, because soy is very heavily pesticided in this country with glyphosate, but you can get good quality. Oh, and next week I'm going to be talking about vitamin K. Aren't you fascinated with that? I'm going to be doing that. I am, because vitamin K, we know we need it, but exactly why? We know it's good for the bones, but there's also the whole idea of arterial calcification. And more people now, when they go to their doctors, instead of just getting their lipids, their cholesterol levels and all of that for heart health, cardiovascular health, they're getting calcium scans, calcium score scans. And vitamin K is super important, along with vitamin D and DHEA, to be dealing with keeping the calcium from building up in the arteries, which has been found to be really the big problem. And so that's really important. But what's the difference between like vitamin K1 and vitamin K2? And why can't I have foods with vitamin K because I'm on such and so a prescription? So could be talking about that. But another thing I wanted to talk about is the role of the value of miso. So miso is fermented soy, organic fermented soy. So I bought some, I have it here, like having a teaspoon in hot water, like a soup, like just a nice broth a few times a day, how great that is for your health. So anyway, so soy has its place, but not the way we use it in this country, added to everything. Modern soy, which has a phytate that is not good for the thyroid. That's a short version. Soy extracts provide standardized phytoestrogens, so plant estrogens that are potentially effective in ameliorating geriatric symptoms related to estrogen deficit. The ingestion of standardized soy extract has been hypothesized to decrease the atrophy of tissues where the bladder and urethra meet. Okay, so the bladder coming out and and thus alleviate frequent urinary urges and incontinence. Now, I will say, I usually recommend to women to use the DHEA suppositories for that problem, because you're getting all that hormone, you get conversion to estrogen, you're getting it delivered right down into the vaginal tract, which is great for all of the, it handles all of those mucosal tissues, the urethra and the vagina. But for some people, that's not a practical thing, or it just is not preferred. And in that case, you could probably just use a DHEA capsule, but the studies here are with this soy isoflavone, and they work well together. So since we know that, that's a good thing to recommend. So you're dealing with the water-soluble pumpkin seed extract is dealing with those problems in one way or ways, and the soy isoflavones are dealing with the hormonal issues that are the reason that as women get older, they have these problems, as opposed to younger women, typically speaking. But here, a study was done to evaluate the effects of water-soluble pumpkin seed extract in anesthetized rats, okay, to determine bladder functionality. as measured by a cystometry, bladder parameters showed a dramatic 54.5% improvement in rats receiving water-soluble pumpkin seed extract compared to other agents. When the excretion frequency was measured, a 60% reduction in urine excretion frequency occurred after administration of water-soluble pumpkin seed extract. No improvement was seen in the group given inactive solvent. Conclusions from the study show that water-soluble pumpkin seed extract significantly increases maximum bladder capacity while decreasing urinary frequency. So that's huge, right? Because your bladder has a greater capacity. It's not full with a smaller amount of urine, so you can hold more urine. And then it also decreases the urinary frequency. I guess it would work by that way, but then also on its own that way. So anyway, we are at 1 o'clock. And I thank you for being with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a great week. Next week, I will be back again, as I said, planning to talk about vitamin K. Going to get a little bit into the meso, and probably something else will come to my mind. Oh, and if you have, I know, Debbie was telling me, had I read the new cholesterol guidelines in Life Extension's latest magazine, and I haven't, but I'm going to, and I'm sure I'll have something to say about that as well. You get me on that subject and then I can never get off. But again, thank you for being with me, and be well. I'll see you next time.